A peaceful later life, abundant virtues, signs of a prosperous life. Welcome back, everyone, to Mind Podcast. Have you ever sat quietly and pondered about the later stages of life, when your hair turns gray and your hands are no longer nimble? Will those days be peaceful, watching your grandchildren grow, or will they be filled with loneliness and regret for unfulfilled things? Later life, just two simple words, yet they encompass a profound reflection on the journey of human existence. It's not just about old age, it's the culmination of the entire life we've lived. As you sow, so shall you reap. The wisdom of the ancients never falters. What we do today weaves the tapestry of tomorrow's later years. A good later life doesn't come by chance. It's the essence of one's mindset, lifestyle, and ways of treating others throughout life. Some revel in wealth and luxury during their youth, but end their days in loneliness and sorrow. Others live without grandeur, yet their later years are serene and fulfilling. Why is that so? What is the secret to a peaceful and radiant ending to life? If you possess these qualities, congratulations, your good later years are already awaiting you at the end of the road. But if not, don't worry. Every day left is an opportunity to sow seeds of goodness and nurture a fulfilling future. A kind heart and benevolent mind. In Buddhism, having a kind heart and a benevolent mind is not only a noble virtue, but also the foundation of all happiness in life. The Buddha once taught, "The law of cause and effect is unchanging. Sowing good deeds will yield good outcomes." Life is like a vast field, and our minds and intentions are the seeds. If we plant seeds of compassion, tolerance, and kindness, tomorrow this field will bloom with fragrant flowers and sweet fruit. A kind heart is not an abstract concept. It manifests in every thought, action, and word we share with the world. Those who live with kindness are like a quietly flowing river, bringing cool, refreshing water wherever it goes, be it fertile land or barren soil. This silent but steadfast flow will bring great blessings. The story of kindness. There is a Buddhist tale about a woman named Sujata. She was a poor widow living with her young son in a tattered hut. Despite her dire circumstances, Sujata maintained a compassionate heart and always helped others. She taught her son, no matter how poor we are, we must never forget to do good deeds. Sowing a seed of kindness will yield 100-fold blessings. One day, while gathering firewood in the forest, Sujata encountered a frail and exhausted man leaning against a tree. This man was none other than Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, during his ascetic practice. Seeing him in such a state, Sujata immediately returned home to cook her last bowl of rice porridge and offered it to him, even though it meant she and her son would go hungry. The Buddha accepted the porridge and felt the boundless compassion in Sujata's heart. He told her that her kindness would never be lost, but would shine brightly and bring blessings for generations to come. Indeed, Sujata's life gradually became prosperous. Her son grew up to be a filial, intelligent, and compassionate person. The villagers believed that it was Sujata's kindness that created the blessings that helped her family overcome all hardships. Kindness in everyday life. Buddhism teaches that every action and thought leaves a mark in the flow of cause and effect. When you help someone through adversity, you not only alleviate their suffering, but also sow seeds of blessings for yourself. Acts of kindness, no matter how small, are like drops of water that contribute to the vast ocean. The kindness you extend today may not immediately bear fruit, but it will undoubtedly become a strong foundation for a good future. Kindness does not need to be demonstrated through grand gestures. Sometimes, a smile, a word of encouragement, or simply listening when someone needs to share is enough to create a miracle. People with kind hearts do not seek reciprocation or cling to fame or fortune. They perform good deeds because they believe it is the right path, bringing peace and serenity to their souls. Transforming negative karma with a kind heart. A kind heart is the key to transforming negative karma. Imagine life as a boat floating down a river. If you hold on to anger and jealousy, the boat will become heavy and sink amidst the waves. But if you nurture kindness, the boat will lighten, gliding through challenges without being overwhelmed. Another story tells of Angulimala, a notorious bandit from Buddhist scriptures. He had killed many people, but upon meeting the Buddha and attaining enlightenment, Angulimala abandoned everything to practice and repent for his sins. Despite his heavy karma, his compassion ultimately led him to liberation. Later life is the result of a lifetime. The later years of a person's life do not come as a surprise or by chance. They are the result of how we have lived and what we have done in even the smallest moments. Those who keep kindness in their hearts are like diligent farmers, patiently sowing seeds in the field of cause and effect. One day, when the harvest comes, they will see fields filled with golden rice, the peace and happiness of later life. So, are you nurturing kindness every day? If the answer is yes, congratulations. You are building a radiant future where your final years will pass in peace and blessings. If the answer is no, remember, it is never too late to start planting the seeds of compassion and kindness. Letting go without attachment. In life, who hasn't held on to sadness, anger, or unfulfilled desires? We often cling to the past, dwell on unchangeable events, and bind ourselves in the invisible chains of suffering. But life is impermanent, like a river that never stops flowing. Holding on doesn't mean keeping it forever. Buddhist philosophy teaches that letting go is not about losing, but about freeing the mind. As the ancients said, those who cling to the past lock themselves in a room with no escape. Indeed, when our minds are bound by things that cannot be changed, we carry an additional burden upon ourselves. A person who has failed at work often regrets a missed opportunity. Someone who has been wronged in love harbors resentment toward the one who left. But have you ever wondered if holding on to such attachments alleviates your suffering or only deepens it? The Buddha once told a story about two monks and a young woman by a riverbank. One day, the two monks encountered a young woman crying by the rushing waters. She hesitated to cross the river because the current was too strong. Without hesitation, the older monk carried her across. After bidding farewell, the two monks continued their journey. After walking some distance, the younger monk asked, "Brother, we are monks and should not touch women. Why did you carry her?" The older monk smiled calmly and replied, "I set her down by the riverbank long ago, but it seems you are still carrying her in your mind." This simple yet profound story reminds us that what has passed should be left in the past. Clinging to it only burdens the mind, preventing us from enjoying the joys that are present. Letting go is not weakness or avoidance of reality. It is an art of living, helping us transcend suffering and freeing ourselves from what cannot be changed. The Buddha taught that letting go is the first step toward true liberation. When you let go, you lose nothing. On the contrary, you clear obstacles from your mind, paving the way for peace to enter. Letting go does not only mean abandoning material possessions, but also relinquishing excessive desires and the longing for control. Consider a person tightly gripping a handful of sand. The tighter they squeeze, the more sand slips away, leaving an empty hand. But if they hold it gently, the sand remains in their palm. King Liangwu, a benevolent ruler, once invited the Zen master Bodhidharma to the palace for a discussion. The king asked, "I have built many temples and done many good deeds. What blessings will I receive?" The Zen master replied, "None at all." Offended, the king demanded an explanation. Smiling, the master explained, "Your Majesty performs good deeds but clings to the merit, seeking blessings. It is this attachment that prevents true freedom of the mind." This story reminds us that only by letting go of all attachments can we truly appreciate the value of good deeds. One cannot live forever basking in past glories or lamenting past mistakes. Only by learning to let go can the soul move forward with lightness and serenity. When you release anger, your heart will be filled with tranquility. When you let go of greed, you will find joy in what you already have. Like a bamboo bending before the wind, it does not break but becomes flexible and resilient against all challenges. Once a man came to the Buddha and asked, "Master, how can I find happiness?" The Buddha did not respond immediately but handed him a teacup. He poured tea into the cup until it overflowed and spilled onto the table. Alarmed, the man exclaimed, "Master, the tea is spilling." The Buddha calmly replied, "Just like your mind. When it is filled with worries, hatred, and ambition, how can happiness find a place to enter? You must pour some out. You must let go." Life is a long journey where we constantly face undesirable circumstances. But instead of holding on to those burdens, why not try letting go to ease your heart? Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means accepting that some things in life are beyond our control. Let go to find peace in your mind, allow happiness to come naturally, and create a tranquil and serene future. Living sincerely, gaining trust. Sincerity is an eternal value, like the light of a lamp illuminating the darkness. In this ever-changing life, sincerity not only helps us build strong relationships, but also serves as a bridge connecting souls. The philosophy of life teaches us that a sincere person is like a clear mirror, reflecting the world without retaining its dust. This purity earns them the trust and affection of others, bringing blessings naturally in their later years. Sincerity is the root of trust. Life is a series of relationships, from family and friends to colleagues. Each relationship requires trust to thrive and grow. Trust doesn't arise spontaneously. It is built through small actions, honest words, straightforwardness in facing difficulties, and selfless attitudes in helping others. A sincere person doesn't need to hide behind a dazzling facade. They are simple and genuine, yet they bring comfort and security to those around them. Sincerity is like the roots of an ancient tree. The deeper and stronger they are, the more they nurture lasting relationships. Once trust is established, your life will always have people ready to stand by you and help during tough times. That is an incomparable blessing. The story of Zilu's sincerity. Among Confucius' disciples, Zilu was well known for his straightforwardness and sincerity. He never hid his feelings or thoughts. Once Confucius asked Zilu, "If I were to recommend you for an official position, what would you do?" Zilu sincerely replied, "Master, if it is a small task, I can handle it immediately, but for a major responsibility, I fear I am not yet capable." Confucius smiled and praised him. "It is precisely this sincerity that makes me trust you." Later, Zilu became a just and honest official, respected by the people. Although he wasn't the most distinguished among Confucius's disciples, he is remembered for his honesty and trustworthiness. Sincerity without calculation. In Buddhist philosophy, a sincere action is one that carries no expectations or demands for reciprocation. When you help someone sincerely, it not only brings joy to the other person, but also enriches your own soul. Consider the image of a mother caring for her child. Every meal, every piece of clothing, all stem from unconditional love. That mother doesn't expect anything in return. Seeing her child healthy and happy is satisfaction enough. That is sincerity, and this sincerity becomes a spiritual support for the child, helping them become stronger as they navigate life's journey. When sincerity meets trust. Long ago, in a small village, there lived a blacksmith renowned for his honesty. One day, a wealthy customer approached him to craft a precious sword. The blacksmith worked diligently for months. However, on the day of delivery, he discovered a small scratch on the blade. Instead of concealing it, he chose to tell the customer the truth. The customer, instead of being angry, was touched and said, "I know this sword is not just a tool but a labor of love. Your sincerity makes me treasure this sword even more." Over time, the blacksmith's reputation spread far and wide. Everyone sought him out, trusting that he was someone in whom they could place their confidence. The future of those who live sincerely. A prosperous future is not a coincidence. It is the result of a lifetime of sincerity and kindness. Those who live sincerely, even without seeking rewards, gain trust and affection from those around them, which becomes a powerful resource to help them overcome life's challenges. When you live sincerely, the people you meet will not merely be fleeting acquaintances, but lifelong companions, individuals who will stand by you until the end. This is the most precious gift life can offer. Living sincerely is a simple yet profound way of life. It helps you build trust, not only in the eyes of others, but also in yourself. This trust becomes the bridge connecting you to the great blessings of life. Remember, in a world full of deceit and calculation, sincerity is a shining gem that only grows more radiant with time and will always be cherished. Patience, not haste. No one can avoid moments of waiting or confronting challenges and difficulties, but it is in these moments that patience shines like a guiding light, helping people navigate storms and reach the shores of success. The philosophy of life teaches us, haste makes waste. The more impatient you are, the more likely you are to fail. A patient person not only masters time, but also masters themselves. In the end, they will reap the sweet fruits of life. In Buddhist philosophy, patience is not merely endurance, it is a form of wisdom. The Buddha once taught, "Dripping water wears away stone." The power of water lies not in its intensity, but in its persistence. Similarly, humans don't need to achieve extraordinary feats instantly, but must persevere and patiently build a strong and stable life step by step. Impatient people are like mountain climbers who give up midway. They look up at the peak, feel overwhelmed by the long journey ahead, and forget that every step forward is a valuable achievement. In contrast, patient individuals, though they may move slowly, never stop, and eventually reach their desired destination. The story of the farmer and the bamboo tree. Consider the story of a farmer and the bamboo tree. After purchasing a rare bamboo seed, the farmer diligently planted and watered it daily. Yet, after 1 year, then 2 years, the land remained barren with no sign of growth. Passers-by mocked him, saying, "How foolish to waste your efforts on an empty seed." However, the farmer, unwavering in his patience, continued tending to the land, trusting that time would work its magic. In the 5th year, one morning, a small shoot emerged from the ground. Within just 6 weeks, the bamboo tree grew over 20 meters tall. During the first 4 years, the bamboo wasn't stagnant. It was quietly developing deep roots into the soil, building a strong foundation to withstand future storms. The farmer's patience was richly rewarded. This story teaches us that great achievements in life require time and patience to mature. Some results aren't visible immediately, but with persistence, the final outcome can exceed all expectations. Impatience, the enemy of success. In contrast to patience is impatience. Impatient individuals are like those who expect a tree to bear fruit the moment they plant the seed. They quickly lose hope when results don't appear or make rash decisions just to satisfy immediate desires. But life is a long journey. Rushing often leads to regret. In a Buddhist parable, there was a man eager to achieve enlightenment quickly. He sought out a renowned Zen master and asked, "Master, if I meditate every day, how long will it take for me to achieve enlightenment?" The master replied, 5 years. The man then asked, "If I meditate twice as much, day and night without rest, how long will it take?" The Zen master calmly responded, 10 years. Surprised, the man questioned, "Why would doing more take longer?" The master explained, "When you are too eager, your mind will lack the stillness needed for learning and growth. The path to enlightenment cannot be rushed. The more you push, the slower you become." This profound response illustrates that haste often diminishes the true value of each step along the journey. To achieve greatness, one must allow time to learn, adapt, and truly grow. The rewards of patience. A person's future is not a matter of chance, but the result of consistent effort and persistence throughout their life. The patient understand that nothing lasting is built overnight. They are unafraid to invest time and effort because they know perseverance is the key to success. Look at those who have achieved peace and contentment in their later years. They are not randomly fortunate, but are individuals who quietly worked through challenges with persistence. When the time is ripe, blessings come as a rightful reward for their patience. Patience is the art of maturity, the secret to overcoming life's trials. When you learn to be patient, you not only master time but also gain control over yourself. Each slow yet steady step leads to a peaceful and fulfilling future. So be patient. Trust that the best things in life take time to manifest. With patience, success and blessings will naturally and fully come your way. Gratitude, remembering kindness and generosity. In the philosophy of life, gratitude is a noble virtue and the foundation for human connection in a circle of mutual support and love. The ancients taught, when drinking water, remember its source. When eating fruit, remember the one who planted the tree. A grateful person is not only someone who lives morally, but also someone who creates lasting blessings, leading to a prosperous and fulfilling future. Gratitude is not about grand or ostentatious gestures. It begins with small acts, like remembering those who have helped us. Being grateful to parents who gave us life, teachers who guided us, and friends who stood by our side. A grateful person always holds respect in their heart for the kindness they have received, and in turn, sows seeds of goodwill in life. Gratitude is not just an emotion, but a concrete action to express thankfulness. It is remembering and caring for parents in their old age, or returning to help those who supported us during hardships. People who live with gratitude are never lonely, as they carry with them beautiful relationships. These connections become spiritual and material support during the later years of life. Buddhism teaches that among all virtues, gratitude is the highest. Gratitude helps individuals transcend selfishness, opening their hearts to compassion and love. When you are grateful, you realize that your life is not just the result of personal effort, but also the contributions of countless others. This understanding fosters humility and respect, making those around you love and trust you even more. The story of the woodsman and the tiger. Long ago, in a small village, a woodsman earned his living by cutting firewood. One day, deep in the forest, he found a small tiger caught in a trap, crying out in pain. Although he knew tigers were dangerous predators, he couldn't bear to see it suffer. Carefully, he freed the tiger, tended to its wounds, and let it return to the wild. Time passed, and the woodsman fell into poverty during a harsh winter. Unable to gather enough firewood to sell, his family faced severe hardship. One day, as he sat in despair at the edge of the forest, a large tiger appeared in the distance. Terrified, the woodsman thought he was about to become its prey. However, the tiger did not attack. Instead, it placed prey in front of him and quietly walked away. The woodsman realized this was the same tiger he had saved years ago. Now grown, it had returned to repay his kindness. Thanks to this act of gratitude, the woodsman's family survived the harsh winter. This simple story carries a profound lesson. Gratitude not only beautifies the human soul, but also brings immense blessings. Those who are grateful never undervalue small things. They understand that every kind gesture from others is a precious gift. When gratitude becomes an indispensable part of life, one naturally feels a sense of richness, not in material possessions, but in genuine relationships, respect, and love from others. Once, the Buddha asked his disciples, "Among all debts in life, which is the greatest?" The disciples thought and replied, "It is the debt of kindness from parents, teachers, and those who helped us in times of need." The Buddha nodded and added, "That is true, but it doesn't end there. Every breath we take, every drop of water we drink, every piece of food we eat is a gift from life. Gratitude should extend not only to people, but to all living things around us. That is complete gratitude." Gratitude changes the way we perceive life. It brings peace, joy, and deeper connections, building a fulfilling and meaningful existence. The later years of those who practice gratitude. The later years of those who practice gratitude are often peaceful and prosperous. Throughout their lives, they consistently sow seeds of goodness. When you are grateful and cherish the little things, you will never feel lacking, as every day is filled with reasons to be thankful. In old age, you will have good friends and loved ones around you. These relationships were nurtured by your sincere gratitude. People who live with gratitude tend to have peaceful minds. They do not blame fate or compare gains and losses because they understand that life has bestowed upon them many precious gifts. This inner peace will lead to a good life in later years, where suffering and worries are resolved. To know gratitude is to live fully in accordance with human virtues. It is a way to remember the kindness received and create a life worth living. Those who live with gratitude are always blessed with protection, and their later years are filled with happiness and fulfillment. Always remember that a sincere thank you or a small act of gratitude can create miracles in your life. Living simply, not lavishly. In life, people often chase after dazzling luxury, thinking it is the key to happiness. However, the more we indulge in material excess, the emptier and more exhausted we feel. Conversely, simplicity is the root of enduring happiness. The philosophy of life teaches us contentment brings happiness. People who live simply are not bound by material desires. Their hearts are naturally at ease, and their later years are often peaceful and stable. Simplicity does not mean deprivation. It means knowing what is enough and living in harmony with what you have. Simple people do not flaunt or compare themselves to others. They understand that true value in life lies not in external glamour, but in inner peace and genuine relationships. As the ancients said, the rich are not those who have much, but those who need little. Someone who lives in a modest house, eats simple meals, yet feels full of happiness because they cherish every small moment, is truly rich. On the other hand, someone who lives in luxury but is constantly anxious and worried about losing what they have or being trapped in endless ambition finds no peace. The story of Confucius and his disciple. Confucius, one of the greatest philosophers of human life, lived a simple life, yet left behind timeless values. One day, he and his disciple Yan Hui passed through a small village. Yan Hui, though born into poverty, always maintained a serene and cheerful spirit. He lived in a small house with only some rice and greens to eat. Confucius asked, "Yan Hui, do you not feel that your life is lacking?" Yan Hui smiled and replied, "Teacher, I feel I have enough because I have food to eat, water to drink, knowledge to learn, and a teacher to guide me. What more do I need?" Confucius nodded and praised him. "You truly understand the essence of life. Simplicity is the path to genuine happiness." This story reminds us that true wealth lies not in the amount of possessions, but in the mindset of contentment and satisfaction with what one has. Extravagance, a trap for the mind. People who live extravagantly are often caught in the cycle of showing off and competing. They constantly seek new things to assert themselves, yet the more they acquire, the emptier they feel inside. They compare themselves with others, and when their desires are unmet, fall into anxiety, jealousy, and disappointment. There is a story about a wealthy merchant who took pride in his lavish lifestyle. He built a grand house filled with luxurious items and hosted extravagant parties to show off his wealth. However, over time, he felt increasingly lonely because people only approached him for personal gain. When old age came, his health deteriorated, and he could no longer enjoy his wealth. He ultimately faced emptiness and solitude. In contrast, those who live simply often cultivate genuine relationships not based on material gain or status. These relationships become a solid source of spiritual support in their later years. The fate of those who lead a simple life. People who live simply often enjoy an admirable destiny. They are free from worries about losing material luxuries, as they do not cling to them. Instead, they devote their time to nurturing family, friends, and their own souls. As they age, they experience a peaceful life, unburdened by the anxieties and stress of material pursuits. Buddhist philosophy teaches that living simply is living in harmony with nature. When you do not chase endless desires, you can appreciate the beauty of life in the smallest things, such as the morning sunlight, a family meal, or quiet moments with a cup of tea. These are simple, yet immensely precious joys. Simplicity is not just a way of life. It is a profound philosophy that leads to true happiness. When we know contentment, we are no longer bound by external desires and pressures. Our souls become free and serene, and from this simplicity, our fate is adorned with peace and genuine relationships. Remember, life does not need extravagance to be meaningful. By cherishing what we have, we hold a treasure of happiness in our hands. The importance of loving family is where all happiness begins and ends. No matter how far we travel, we always long to return to those we love, a place where unconditional love awaits us. Loving family is not only a duty, but also an art of living, a key to a fulfilled future. Life philosophies emphasize that family is the root of blessings, the warm flame that sustains life, and the sanctuary where we find solace in a turbulent world. Those who cherish their family bring happiness to their loved ones, and in turn, cultivate a life of spiritual richness and peace for themselves. Loving family does not always require grand gestures. It often begins with small acts of daily life. It is the care shared over meals, words of encouragement in difficult times, or compromises in moments of disagreement. Each small action, nurtured daily, strengthens the bond between family members. Think of a mother staying up late to prepare meals and clothes for her children. A father, though reserved, quietly watches over his children, always serving as a steadfast pillar of support. And children, whether grown or still young, when they spend time caring for and talking to their parents, sow seeds of love in the family. The story of Yang Shi, the dutiful son. In Chinese history, the story of Yang Shi, a filial son, has become a symbol of familial devotion. Despite his family's poverty, Yang Shi cared for his elderly mother with utmost dedication. Once, when his mother fell seriously ill, the doctor advised that fresh fish would help her recover. However, that winter was harsh, and fresh fish was scarce. Undeterred, Yang Shi went to the river daily, patiently searching. Eventually, he managed to catch some rare fresh fish and brought them back to his mother. Thanks to his love and perseverance, his mother gradually regained her health. This story reminds us that family love not only brings warmth, but also has the power to heal and overcome any challenge. Family, the support during difficult times. In the most challenging phases of life, family is often where we turn for comfort and motivation. A person who loves and values their family will always be surrounded by love and support, no matter how harsh the outside world may be. There is a story about a successful merchant who, due to the demands of his work, neglected his family. One day, he faced a major failure in his business, leaving him feeling hopeless and lost. In his moment of despair, he returned home, where his elderly parents and wife had been waiting for him, offering no reproach. They comforted him, encouraged him, and helped him navigate through his crisis. Later, the merchant shared, "I used to think that success in society was everything, but it is my family that is my most valuable treasure. Without them, I don't know how I would have endured." From then on, he changed his way of life, dedicating more time to his family. Over time, his career recovered and became even more successful than before. The destiny of those who cherish family. What we do for our family today lays the foundation for our future. When you love and care for your parents, your children will learn this precious lesson and continue the tradition. A loving family becomes a nurturing environment for the soul, fostering generations of filial, ethical, and responsible descendants. The destiny of those who love their family is often one of peace and fulfillment. In their old age, they won't feel lonely because they will be surrounded by their children and grandchildren. The love they have sown throughout their lives becomes their joy and solace in their twilight years. Loving your family is living in accordance with the principles of humanity. It is how we plant the seeds of love and connection while creating a meaningful life. Those who live with love for their family are always blessed, and their future is one of joy and contentment. Remember, even small actions like a kind word, a warm meal, or a loving hug can create miracles in family life. Maintaining good health. It is often said, health is wealth. Yet, it is only when old age approaches and the body grows tired and weak that we truly understand the meaning of this saying. Health is not just the foundation for a fulfilling life, but also a crucial factor for a peaceful future. Life philosophy teaches us that the body is the home of the soul. A strong home ensures a tranquil soul. Those who maintain their health care not only for their bodies, but also for their spirits. This harmony is achieved through moderation, healthy eating, and cultivating a positive and joyful mindset. A healthy body not only helps us overcome illness, but also provides clarity of mind, allowing us to fully enjoy life. As the old saying goes, a healthy body, a peaceful mind. When the body is strong, the mind naturally becomes light and serene. Health is the foundation for working, learning, caring for family, and pursuing passions in life. Conversely, when health declines, no amount of wealth or fame can bring true enjoyment. The story of the king and the hermit. There is a meaningful parable about a wealthy king. He ruled over a vast kingdom, his treasures overflowing with gold and silver, yet he suffered from a severe illness. Despite inviting numerous renowned physicians to treat him, his condition remained unchanged. One day, the king met a hermit and asked, "Can you cure my illness? I am willing to give you half of my kingdom." The hermit smiled and replied, "Your Majesty, half of your kingdom cannot buy health. However, if you change your lifestyle, living simply and moderately, you may regain your health." The king heeded the hermit's advice. He abandoned extravagant feasts, focused on eating healthily, exercised daily, and adopted a more relaxed lifestyle. Over time, his health improved significantly. It was then that he realized health was more valuable than all the treasures he once possessed. Health is a long-term journey. Maintaining good health is not something that can be achieved overnight. It is a long journey requiring persistence and mindfulness. It begins with small, consistent habits in daily life, balanced meals, adequate sleep, and regular physical activity. Buddhism teaches that the body and mind are deeply interconnected. When we nourish our body with healthy food and a balanced lifestyle, we are also nurturing our mind. Conversely, if we let our body succumb to harmful habits, our mind becomes burdened and easily influenced by negative emotions. Health is not solely about physical well-being. A healthy mind is equally important. This means learning to let go of worries, maintaining an optimistic and joyful attitude. Those with a positive mindset often have stronger immunity, experience less stress, and are less prone to illness. As the Buddha once taught, a tranquil mind is the best medicine for all ailments. The fate of those who value health. Those who care for their health in their youth will enjoy a peaceful and energetic life in their later years. As they age, they can delight in the company of their grandchildren, travel, or pursue their passions without being hindered by illness or fatigue. On the other hand, those who neglect their health and live recklessly often face serious consequences. In old age, they may have material wealth but lack the strength to enjoy it. Their later years become darkened by pain and regret. Look at the elderly around you who are healthy and happy. They are often individuals who valued their health early on, lived in moderation, and maintained a positive spirit. Health is not something that comes naturally. It is the result of effort and conscious self-care. To secure a peaceful and fulfilling future, start today with small actions. Eat healthily, exercise regularly, get enough sleep, and keep your mind cheerful. Remember, health is the most precious asset. Only when you cherish and protect it can you fully enjoy the blessings life has to offer.